to keep the merchants informed about what was going on. They went so far as to create We Are Opened videos on QAC TV, weekly articles in the Update on spotlighting businesses, articles in the local newspapers, chamber email blasts, 4-part seminars, public service announcements and ads on the radio, social media posts, and a dedicated Facebook page to help us all. So if this goes, will the merchants on Postal Road survive? A traffic study was done a few years ago and submitted. The weekend times that they chose to tell us about are 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. And if you've ever traveled that intersection then, it's dead. Our busy times on Saturday in the morning or on Sundays during the church, like other people have said. While reading the Queen Anne's County Comprehensive Plan and the 12 visions, I learned a lot about how we would like to grow this county. Number 2 talks about public participation and how citizens are active partners in planning and implication of the community initiatives. Number 4 talks about community design and how it should be compact, mixed-use, walkable design. Number 4 says that it should be, number 5 says the growth areas for water resources, infrastructure, an orderly business expansion in an orderly, efficient, and environmentally sustainable manner. I'm confused how a high-traffic drive-through Dunkin' fits with these. The churches, neighborhoods, apartment buildings, small-town gas stations, and liquor store, and all the other small businesses on Postal Road. None of this screams fast-paced, quick-service store. And the roads can't take much extra traffic without backing up on 50. The vision statement on Plan QAC talks about a great place to live that is predominantly rural county and small towns, a good place to work, encouraging agriculture, seafood, and maritime industries, tourism, outdoor sports, and small businesses. And most importantly, a protective community cultivates its citizens' expectations and opportunities, emphasizing that development should not impair the quality of life enjoyed by all. I'm pretty sure that bringing this type of business to this specific intersection is going against what the plan QAC is going for.
Thank you, Heather. James Lyons.
Morning, I'm James Lyons. I live at 141 Beacon Place in Stevensville. Without repeating a lot of what's been said here, I would hope everyone could agree with me that that intersection's not ideal. Without repeating a lot of what everyone has said here, I think it stands as fairly good common sense that adding a development, Dunkin' Donuts like this, doesn't do anything to improve the intersection. It can only deter and make it more unsafe. We have the ability, basically, through this public process to avoid the types of problems, future accidents, and concerns a development like this would bring. One thing that was kind of interesting to me during the discussions of traffic, it noted Anne Arundel County. I'll admit in front of all these people, I'm a transplant from Anne Arundel County. I came over to this side of the shore probably for the reason that many of you may have, the intrinsic beauty of Queen Anne's County, the small town, hometown feel of Queen Anne's County. Adding additional fast food, high volume, big corporate type presence isn't really what I think a lot of us came here for. We have what we need, certainly. And I do like Dunkin' Donuts, and I do like also patronizing the businesses on Postal Road and throughout the county. So certainly I would just like to summarize, I stand in opposition to the project. I don't think there's anything that's good going to really come out of it. And the beauty of this county is eroded by continual development like this. Thank you.
Thank you. Joe Lucian. Is Joe Lucian here?
Hi, my name is Joe Lucian. I live in Creekview community. It's about a mile south of Route 50 on Cox Neck Road. And I have a couple of additional points to make here. I'm opposed to the project. I just want to emphasize that, you know, every day I come north on Cox Neck Road, and I'm at that intersection. And it's very difficult to alternate going straight on the Route 50 with the postal road people taking a left to go south on Cox Neck. There's an alternating pattern there in addition to the traffic coming down the ramp off of Route 50. In addition to the traffic at the gas station. Now, somebody misspoke earlier because they said that making a left into the gas station from Route 50 ramp is not expected. Well, that's ridiculous because it happens all the time, and it's another complication, and I think that's a perfectly legal, direction to go. But it's a very complicated intersection. And notwithstanding the pole on the corner of the sidewalk where Baker's liquor store is, it's a very tight turn even to make a right-hand turn. And so many longer trucks, or if there's a trailer, they have to actually go into the opposing traffic lane on Postal Road in order to execute a right-hand turn. And all of these things just make more and more delays. Many people, when they're making the left out of Postal Road, it's like they piggyback. They just tailgate the guy in front of them so that they don't have to wait. And there's a lot of things going on. And one thing I'm taking note of here is that everyone seems to know and acknowledge that the speeds coming off of the ramp of Route 50 are substantially higher than the 15 miles an hour. Maybe they're 30, 35, yet we're presenting data and we're expected to believe the results of data of analysis using 15 or 20 miles an hour. And I just think that's just not very realistic. And I would really expect more reality out of, this type of an analysis. So other than that, I don't know why we would do anything worse, anything to make traffic worse on Kent Island. And being where we are, and it's risk versus benefit. I see a high level of risk and very little benefit for this project. Thank you.
Thank you. Kathy Johnston?
You said Kathy Johnston?
Yes.
My name is Kathy Johnston. I've lived over here now for about 15 years. My husband's lived over here his whole life.
Where's here?
Cox Neck Road.
Okay.
Two things that haven't been brought up. I see cops sitting at that vacant lot regularly. There's no reason for a cop to be sitting at an intersection that's perfectly safe. He's there because people run the stop signs, they come off that exit lane too fast. It's irresponsible to assume that everyone driving on these roads are abiding by the law 100% of the time. It's just not realistic. I have a 15-year-old. She's learning all the rules. She's schooling me daily. I'm not a perfect driver, but I guarantee you, pretending that everyone is going to be coming off that ramp nice and slow when they're on their way to church, when they're on their way to their AA meetings, when they're on their way home after a long day of sitting in bridge traffic is ridiculous. People get coffee from 6 to 10 o'clock in the morning. There are outliers. None of the studies were done between 6 and 10. How about on a school day when buses are making that right-hand turn or going straight all morning long? How about at 3:30 in the afternoon when we're all coming home from school or work, or 4:30 or 5:30? Now, something that no one has brought up, that traffic that we've finally given people the ability to go to the grocery store or to the library during peak travel times. If you're dumb enough to get on the side road because you didn't read all the signs that have been posted all summer long, where are they redirecting traffic? To that intersection. So now we've got all the people coming from the beach. They're tired. They're not paying attention. They think Waze is going to help them out. They're going to get on the back road. They're going to go all the way to the overpass, come all the way back down, and end up at this intersection. I'm old enough to remember there was a traffic light at that intersection a long time ago. We got rid of it because it was dangerous. Now you want to add more traffic? You think that having a Dunkin' Donuts, people are too lazy to drive across the road and get out of their car, park at Colt Classic at 8 o'clock in the morning? Because I certainly hope they're not serving beer at 8 o'clock in the morning. We need to create a new place for people to get their coffee and you're going to impede all the traffic at the gas station. It's the best gas station around. Their prices are affordable. Baker's, if I need bread on a Tuesday afternoon, I'm going to Baker's. I don't want to go to Safeway and sit in traffic. To go one mile, it can take me up to half an hour. Nobody's polite. Nobody lets you in. You have to do stupid things to get to the grocery store. I got 5 kids. I'm not talking here just to be difficult. I'm thinking about safety, and I wish you all would too. That man made me cry. I have kids. That's where my kid sits. I can't believe that we would even consider putting children at risk because people aren't thinking about their children at 6 o'clock in the morning. They're thinking about coffee to get through the day because their child was up at 2 o'clock in the morning. You all really need to think, and we don't need people to die before we do something about it like we did at the high school or all the other places that we've created overpasses just like this one.
Take a deep breath.
No,
Okay,
you're
no,
hurting our community. Also, people can have coffee. You can make coffee for free at home or for pennies on the
time's up.
dollar. We're not thinking about safety. We're thinking about
Excuse
someone's
me.
pockets.
Thank you. Okay. Take a break.
There's still testimony online, I think.
Oh, what do we have online?
They're not here to speak. They haven't said anything about it. One of them's just here to watch. The other one hasn't said anything. So.
Okay. We're going to take a 5-minute break. We're back in session. I understand that, Helen, are you still here? I am. You signed the wrong sheet, but that's okay. We're going to allow you to come in.
Thank you for pointing that out. Hey, late. Thank you. Helen Bennett, live in Chester. I'm also a small business owner at the corner of Dominion and Main Street. And everybody had some great stuff. And can I just say that Traffic Concepts needs to hire Hal. That was pretty phenomenal. So I do need to point out, I don't know how often State Highway did their traffic studies, but everyone should know that when they do a traffic study, they average the grades. So if they do a study and they do a 24-hour period, they'll take like 2 a.m. on Wednesday, it's an A, and then 7 a.m. on a Wednesday, it's an F. So they will average it to a C and say it's adequate. And I think that that's misleading and needs to change. I think that this is a public nuisance, and I wanted to read the definition of public nuisance. And there are public nuisance laws for a reason. It's an act or condition that unreasonably interferes with the rights of the general public. Public nuisance laws aim to protect community rights and ensure public safety and comfort. And I think this falls under it totally. And when we talk about queuing and the stacking up, I want to say my business, you can't turn left out of the pet shop. You just can't. I'm getting a sign made truly that says if you want to go left, turn right, go through Chesapeake Outdoors, or turn left at Postal Road and make a U-turn, or go over 50 and go around the circle, because you can't turn left. And you're supposed to care about your small businesses, as Heather said, some great points. You can't get into my business. I have a pet food pantry. I service a lot of people who can't afford food for their dogs and cats and frogs and stuff, and they can come get free food if they can get there. And I asked for a stop sign because I thought a stop sign at the corner of Dominion and Main might help to give us a few extra seconds to come out. State Highway put it up for one day, and took it off because they said they were concerned about stacking on 50. Now, if a stop sign where you only stop for a second is going to cause stacking, what do you think it's going to do when you have a 30-second stop every time? So I would just encourage you to look at this as a public nuisance. I like Dunkin' Donuts as well, but it's a public nuisance, and that's how we need to start looking at some of these developments. Thank you very much.
Okay, do we have anything else?
In regards to, there was questions about truck turning radiuses and deliveries. I believe Mr. Lemire addressed that last time. Todd talked to you about how he's going to get deliveries. Did you want to hear any more on that? Because I can have him explain how the deliveries are going to come in if you'd like. Are you comfortable with that?
I mean,
It was in our package, it showed
yeah,
a
it's
truck.
in
Okay,
our
so it showed the
package.
trucks.
It
It
showed the
showed-
truck radius was
Right.
appropriate,
Okay.
at least in our staff report.
everything was
The only
appropriate.
other thing I would add for the commission is that, Todd owns a local business, all right? This isn't a corporate. His son's going to run this facility, who lives here on Kent Island. And it's in the town center zoning district. It's one of the less intensive uses that you can have in the district. It's certainly not the highest intense use. This property back in the day that I remember, 40 years ago, was a restaurant in Downey's Tasty Freeze, if you recall. Then Joe Downey developed it as an office building. And Joe Downey developed it as an office building. It's been an office building since then. Todd has provided the traffic analysis that the county and the state require. He doesn't make up this, Mark Keeley doesn't make up the standards. They apply the standards that the county and the state require, and the county and the state have concluded that this will not create a traffic hazard at this intersection. Now, people can disagree with it, but those are the experts that we rely on, that you rely on. So I ask that you approve this minor site plan, 1,500 square feet. If you have some reasonable conditions, Todd is more than willing to address those and include those as part. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions from the commission? Okay, do I get a recommendation?
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion resolved that the Planning Commission regarding the request by 100 Old Point LLC for minor site plan approval for the construction of a 1,507 square foot Dunkin' Donuts fast food restaurant and is more particularly described in the Department of Planning and Zoning Files SP number 25-04-0149, hereby finds the site plan will substantially increase traffic hazards or safety concerns due to traffic generated by the proposed use, the location or orientation of curb cuts, the layout of internal circulation, the age of the data from the traffic study, and the time and day of year, and hereby moves to deny the applicant's approval, or petition, excuse me.
Do I get a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Any other public comment?
Thank you all for coming out and participating in this public process. It's very important to see and hear from all of you, regardless of the topic.
Spot on.
Excuse me, we're still in session, if you could be courteous. Do we have any other public comments?
Motion to
We
adjourn.
have a motion, second. Second. All in favor? Now enjoy.